Hello students, welcome to online classes of geography of class 10. This is my third class of your chapter number 6, manufacturing industry. Now today I am going to proceed with the classification of industry on various bases. Number 1, we are going to classify the industry on the basis of the raw material. Number 2, the main role. Capital investment is the number 3. Ownership is number 4 and weight of finished products is number 5. So now let us proceed to the first classification, that is on the basis of raw materials. So on the basis of raw materials, we are having many types of industry, but as per your syllabus there are only two. Number 1 is agro based industry and number 2 is mineral based industry. So if we do the features in a differentiating manner, I think it will be much more easier way to get the features. Agro based industry and mineral based industry. So on the basis of the source of raw material, one gets the raw material from agriculture, another one gets the raw material from from the mining activity. I am just proceeding with the whiteboard. Number 1 is there for your agro based and the mineral based. I am just writing the first part, agro and mineral. So you will get the point of difference also, as well as you will get the characteristics also. So the first basis of the difference is source of the raw material. So for the agro it is agriculture, and for mineral it is mine. For mineral it is mines. Number 2, the category of the labor. Now here basically the status, not the category, the status of the industry. What is that status? So agro based industries are labor intensive, whereas mineral based are capital intensive, because maximum work is done by the machines. Capital intensive. Mineral based are capital intensive and agro based are labor intensive. And what will be the third point of difference? If the question comes for these type, there will be 3 mark questions. So we have to proceed with the 3 points. Now the third point of the difference, the products and the raw materials that are used and the produced, both are having light weight. So agro based industries are light industries, because the raw material that are used and the products that are basically output that is there from these industry, their weight is very less or light. They are lighter. And here the raw material that are used, even the products that are output is there, all the raw material as well as the producers are having heavy weight. So these are heavy industries according to the weight of the raw material as well as the weight of the finished products. So the 3 points of difference between agro based and mineral based is clear, and the examples, the very easy examples we can get. For agro based it is cotton textile industry, for mineral based it is iron and steel industry. So your first classification on the base of the raw material is over. Now let us move to the second category on the basis of the main role. Now on the basis of the main role, what is the point of difference? Let us move to the whiteboard. The point of difference for the second classification, that is on the basis of the main role, we are having 2. Number 1, basic industries, and number 2, consumer industry. Okay, consumer industry. So the first point of difference, finished products of these industries acts as a raw material for the other industry. Finished products acts as raw material for the other industry, and for the consumer industries, finished products are the final product. Finished products are the final products. Are final products. Finished products are final products. So the first point of difference is clear. Now let us move to the second point of difference. The second point is the consumers are not directly connected to these industries. Consumers are not directly connected, but for the consumer industries, consumers directly connected with the industries. Means for the product. Consumers are not directly connected, whereas here consumers are directly connected for consuming the products. Are directly connected. And what will be the third point of difference? The third points of the difference will be number 3. The third points of the difference will be these are capital goods, they produce capital goods, and they produce consumer goods. They produce consumer goods. Now the capital goods means the goods which cannot be directly consumed. We are consuming the capital goods through via media. Like when we are constructing the houses, we need cement. Cement is a basic industry. When we are constructing any roadways or any transportational network, we need iron and steel. Iron and steel are basically considered as a basic industry. But when we are using the toothpaste, when we are having the biscuits, when we are having textile, means the garment, these are considered as a consumer goods. We directly are consuming it. There is no via media for its utilization. So these are the difference between the main role classification, that is basic industries, and the consumer industry. Now let us move to the third classification, small scale industry and the large scale industry. Now from the points it is clear the difference. We can make the difference from the point. I have given the difference for the previous two. Let us get it from the points. The raw materials are obtained locally for the small scale, and the raw materials are obtained from the large far off places. Second, the small scale industries are the place of manufacturing nearby the location of our settlements. But the large scale manufacturing industries, they are far away from the settlement areas. Second point. Third point, the investment. Now why we are considering as a small scale and a large scale? It is on the basis of the investment. So the small scale, their investment is less than 1 crore, and the large scale, their investment is more than 1 crore. So these are the 3 points of difference. Now the small scales are basically producing the products which are what we can say can be sold in the local markets, and large scale industry, they produce the products which cannot be sold out in the local markets, rather it needs a highly diversified market, means urbanized market or well developed international markets. Even the national markets are also there, but a local markets is not there, it's not for the large scale industry. And small scale industry, the employment of people are more, that means small scale industries are more labor intensive and large scale industries are more capital intensive. So I gave the difference between the small scale and large scale. Just follow the video and prepare your answer. That is on the basis of investment. Now next comes the classification on the basis of ownership. Now on the basis of ownership, we are having public industry, private industry, joint sector and what we can say cooperative sector. As per your syllabus, we are having the 4 categories. Now the first, public and the private sector. Difference between public sector and the private sector. What is the basic difference? Public sector are owned by the government or state, private sector owned by the individual or group of individual. That is the first point of difference. Now when it is maximum owned by the government, so what is the motive of that establishment? Welfare motive. And for the private, it is for profit motive. Their basic motive is to earn profit for the private. That is the second point of difference. And third point of difference, large scale employment generation is there under the that is the public, because they are doing the work of welfare. But under the private, the employment generations are very restricted to the skills. As their motive is to earn more profit, so machineries are doing the maximum work and the skilled laborers are employed, those who are there or able to run the machines. So these are the 3 basic points of difference between the public sector and the private sector. Now the next 2 are there left out with the joint sector and cooperative sector. Now joint sector and the cooperative sector differences are, joint sector is owned by the combination of public and private, means both individual and government is having a collaboration for establishing the sector. But for cooperative, it is group of individual who all are not so very high standard. Their living standard of living is not so very high. So the poor society of a group of individual, when they that is what we can say, when they come closer to each other in respect to pull out their resources, means they combine their resources and then they establish the industry. That is cooperative sector. That is for their own subsistence, for their own sustenance. The cooperative sectors are formed, but joint sector is just to help the sectors which are running in losses. Joint sectors are established when any of the industry is there running in loss, then that is the collaboration of the public and private takes place just to overcome the problems due to this that is the declining trend of that industry, or reducing the that is the just to upgrade the standard of that industry which is running in loss. Third point of difference, joint sector is where the products that are produced, those are related to large scale categories, but cooperative sector, the products that are produced, it is basically for their own purpose. That means the products are very small at a small scale. Another point of difference can be there, joint sector is basically following the socialistic pattern. It is basically following the socialistic pattern. Why? Because it want to do benefit to the society. By when the government is there, so obviously benefit is there, but private is also there, because it is needed that there are some industries which are there in the government which have been shut down, which have been locked down, and just to recover this, the private has merged up with the merged up with the public, and then again it has restarted for upgrading that industry. So that is joint sector. And what is the what we can say, the cooperative sector? Cooperative sector is basically for follows the democratic pattern, for the people, by the people and of the people. It is the following the democratic pattern. No one else interfere in this. Now, like the best example of the joint sector is Oil India Limited. Oil India Limited, earlier it was a public sector, under the public sector, but when it started running in loss, then private sector merged up with the public to lift the Oil India. So now it is a joint sector, and the best example of the cooperative sector is what we can say, Amul India is the best example of cooperative sector. So here we completed the classification of industry on the basis of ownership. Now next comes on the basis of heavy and on the basis of the weight of that is the raw material and the finished products. Now it has already been given in that order. Heavy industries where the investment is heavy, and here the capital investment is less. Heavy, the impact on the environment, light, impact on the environment. That means heavy industry pollutes the environment more, light industry are less to pollute the environment. Heavy industry, the amounts of the raw material are consumed which are large. Light industry, they are having the moderate category of the raw materials for their consumption. And heavy industry, they produce a lot of products. Light industry, products which are lightweight but valuable products are being produced, not irrelevant or that is what we can say, that is not required for the society. So in this way we can give the examples of the heavy industry, like all the metallurgical industry, iron and steel, aluminium, even the petrochemicals, these comes under the heavy industry. And the light industry, they are basically the products that are being used for our day-to-day product that is needs. Number one, we can say the biscuit industry, or we can say the what we can say for the medicine industries. These comes under the category of the light industry, where the raw materials are also lightweight and the products produced are also lightweight, but they are highly valuable products. So here all the categories of the industry on the different bases have been discussed in a differentiating manner. Hopefully the concept for everything is clear to you. Then too, if you are having any doubt, just mention it in the comment section, and thank you for following today's class. Have a nice day.